Alright, guys. Sorry, I was just doing another take. But here is my little introduction of becoming Jesus. Basically, this topic was it came up when we were talking about Martin Luther King today. That won't be the main focus, but you'll hear about him more at the end of the slides. So, first off, I'm just going to ask you a few questions. Just think about each one of these. What group you fit into, kind of thing. Is it possible that worshiping a deity, such as Jesus or God or Allah, whatever you worship, the Greek gods, doesn't matter. Does it hurt us? Look at the things that people have done under such statuses. We've seen people sacrifice another human being for the purposes of such. Sacrificing the livestock for the gods, sacrificing people in the Aztecs, or I'm kind of ignorant to that kind of stuff, but just the old natives, and or even the wars that we started, the holy wars that we've started under this pretext. And also a more modern example would be kind of like people in front of Planned Parenthood. I did talk with one of them, and I do see their point of view, but also they do cause a lot of hurt amongst the women that have had abortions when they have to see those signs of the grotesque pictures of the aborted babies. It's very hard for some of them to watch. So is it hurting us to worship a deity, or perhaps it's good? I'd like to hear your point of view. That's just one thing to put on. Or should we be like Christ? What I mean like Christ is like what would Jesus do? Those armbands. What would Jesus do? That kind of thing. But the problem I see with that one is basically that we use that a lot as an excuse to think that we're holy. We use these objects to think that we're holy. Oh, what would Jesus do? I'm wearing this so I can do whatever I want now. Not really. We kind of... It's like when I got my driver's license. Once I got my driver's license, I said, forget all that safety crap. I'm out of here. And, I started, driving really fast and all this stuff. Don't do that when you do that. But still, it's very strange. And also another thing that we strive to do is we strive to be a martyr for people. We think that we have to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. And when we actually lust for that, when we actually want to be somebody's savior like that, it's very it's very taxing on our bodies, and we end up doing very strange things for it. It can be very hurtful to our psyche and all that kind of stuff, trying to be a martyr for somebody. And the last thing is, should we be Christ? Now, Christ, it's not about what Christ wanted to do. It was more of what Christ should do. He had to do those things, or what he had to do. Sorry. And my voice just changed. See, I had to do that, guys. But anyway, you could equate this being Jesus, like saying, "Be the change you want to see in the world." That kind of phrase, or but I think Martin Luther King. Coming back to Martin Luther King, I think he was probably the best, a best person to be an example for this, besides Christ himself. Because Martin Luther King, when he was writing in Birmingham jail, he was writing to some more religious folks. I won't get too much into it, but basically he was writing to other religious folk that were calling him out, and they were saying, Martin Luther King, how could you bring this violence to us? How could you do this? And when you think about Jesus, what would Jesus do? He would simply accept his punishment, that kind of thing. But and you can call me out on any of this stuff. I'm not the best Bible reader, so if anything is this wrong, go ahead. But anyway, so basically he calls them out on it. He says, how could you worship the same God as I do? How could you be so hypocritical and still worship the same God that I do? When you've seen, you guys have all seen the videos of the water hoses, the guard dogs, all that stuff. How could you support they even say in the letter, we support the police and all that. How could you support the police that have done this cruel thing to us? And basically he goes on from there. And that's not really, a lot of the times, that's not what we would think is Jesus would doing, but that he's becoming what he wants to be. He's becoming that change. And, I can't see a lot wrong with that, except it could also be dangerous. To believe that you are that high of a being, But the thing is when you actually become that person, you don't seem to actually think of yourself as higher than other people. You just simply seem to love each other. But that could just be my point of view. What do you guys think? Which one? First off, I have a few questions here. Which one would you classify yourself as? A worshiper, an imitator, or a leader, a doer, that kind of thing? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this. You can find pros and cons with each one. And what do you guys think is the best one? Followers obviously seem to have a lot of laxing tasks. They always have the stability of having somebody lead them. That kind of thing, guys. So what do you guys think? Which one's the best one? Or is it a mixture of all of them? Maybe one should be brought out. Maybe this one should be brought out. Maybe this one should be brought out. What do you guys think? What should we do? And which one of these could lead us to be a better person? Thanks for watching, guys.